Who would you want to fight after George?
I don't really care who I fight, to be honest with you. I'll fight anybody in the division. I think I think that they're saying that the winner of me and George St. Pierre gets to fight Jake Shields. I think Jake Shields needs to fight a couple more fights in the UFC to prove that he's a worthy opponent to be competing for the championship. Because his last fight I thought was lackluster, and I like Jake. Jake's been a good friend of mine. I like him, but I think his performance he needed a little rust. He had a lot of rust, and I think he needs a couple more good fights to get himself to where he's the Jake Shields that we all know. Because he's a great fighter, and I think Jake Shields has a lot of potential to definitely be a champion someday. So I think that he would definitely be a guy that I'd like to fight. So I'm not picky on who I fight. I just want to have a good opponent and get that paycheck.
So you guys get a lot of grief for not wanting to fight friends, but it's not really. You'll fight a friend like a guy like Jake who's a friend. You just won't fight a guy who's
my
in
brother?
Your camp, your main training partner.
Yeah,
like John Fitch.
Me and John Fitch have been training partners for 7 years. We're brothers. It's like if you guys want to see me and John Fitch fight, come to our gym. We fight 3 times a week. So John Fitch he's an amazing friend. He's been a great training partner, and I don't think I would be as successful as I am without John Fitch.
When will the next batch of AKA guys hit the UFC?
Well, hopefully, we are still recruiting. Obviously, wrestlers every year to come to AKA. I think that there's going to be some, a couple up-and-comers coming up that could potentially do very well in the UFC. We have some 55-pounders. And now with all the lower weight classes, that the UFC has now, it's going to be awesome for a lot of our younger guys having the opportunity to fight for the UFC instead of going to the WEC. So it's definitely, the UFC's definitely doing great things for the sport. By putting everybody under one umbrella, and all the weight classes now are in the UFC, and it's going to be a fun 2011 to see what the UFC has coming for us. I know that Dana White has expressed of doing a lot of more reality shows where they do different countries. It's going to be big, because everybody understands fighting. Everybody has been in a fight, at some point in their life. So you get it, you understand it. And the UFC is the big daddy right now, and they're going to continue to build their brand. And it's a great opportunity to be a part of something that's been so successful from day one.
When was the first time you got in a fight?
I used to get in fights all the time when I was a kid. 4 or 5 years old. I got in wrestling at 4 or 5 years old. So I've been fighting my whole life. I came out of my mom fight. Get me out of here, bitch! I'll kick your ass.
Did you win your first fight or lose your first fight?
I probably got my ass kicked. Who knows? My first fight, I probably got beat down.
Nice. I think that's pretty good.
All right. Josh Koscheck, Twitter,
it's fairly articulate.
at Josh Koscheck. Twitter, at Dethrone. Twitter, at AK Fresno. Zinc Entertainment, thanks for the love. Dethrone, thank you. This is going to cost you.
I think it's cool because a lot of times it's hard. I think if you're standing up against a wall in the gym, in an interview, it always seems so rehearsed or awkward.
Yeah. Well, because you make it awkward, because your social skills are kind of a little bit off, Is that on there? Sweet. So that's why it's so awkward, Nick. I mean, let's be real. And we're talking about Nick from Dethrone.
It's owner. Intimidating.
Yeah.
I'm pretty intimidating as an interviewer.
He doesn't make eye contact. He's got this big funky goatee thing, and he looks like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons.
There's occasional eye contact.
Where? When? Let's see. Make eye contact.
I'm checking.
See how long.
Checking the left.
See how long you can make eye contact with me for. Ready? Ready?
No,
Ready?
it's
One,
easier for you. You have a much better view than I do.
Why? you see, you can go only 2 seconds making eye contact.
Unbelievable. Oh, what's the tattoo for?
That's
a new one, right?
It's about 6 months old, and maybe a little longer.
Let's see it. Hold it up to the camera. What is it?
It's Joshua 1:9 shield from the Bible verse, and that I modified it a little bit because I've always worn this thing, you know, and it just talks about, you know, being strong, that type of thing. But I put my grandparents' initials, my grandmother and my grandfather. You know, they pretty much, you know, raised me and you know, got me into the sport of wrestling. So you know, a lot of credit to my grandparents, and you know, obviously family's one of the most important things in the world, the most important thing for me in the world. So I gotta, you know, give back to them and make sure that, you know, just a constant reminder every day of, you know, family and, you know, that type of thing.
Are you religious?
You know, I haven't been to church in quite a while, but definitely, you know, I believe in God, and you know, definitely pretty religious in the fact that you know, there's a higher human being, or a higher God that out there that can you know, obviously look over us and, you know, take us to, you know, to that promised land, you know. So.
Did you squeal when you were getting your tattoo?
No, did not squeal. Just kind of was like, ooh, that's kind of painful, you know. It actually hurt a little bit right here, you know, right in the middle. So, but first tattoo, you know, I've always wanted to get a tattoo my whole life, and I just didn't know what to do. And you know, I've been wearing this thing, oh man, ever since I moved to Fresno, I've been wearing this, you know. So I even actually put it in my fight shorts. So, you know, so it's something that is dear to me, and I've been there for a while. I didn't wear it, but became, you know, had some struggles in life, and put it back on. Start putting it back on, and I thought, what a better way, you know, to bring it back is get a tattoo. You know, I actually have lost this thing. I lost it before, and you know, I didn't find it for months and months and months, and then it somehow came back to me. You know, so it's kind of been a thing that I've had for at least 7 years.
Nice.